You could, I don't know, move the box elsewhere.
I'll move it. Also, we're recording.
Oh, okay.
You kicked the box while it was by your feet. Well, kawaii, koko.
I don't understand your joke, weeb.
What section is this?
Music, animation,
OPE,
production value.
Production value. Yeah, both of us say
Shuji-in
that.
Gakuen. I'm not going to continue.
Hey, mister. I'm not gonna lie, I don't like this opening as much as the opening for the second season, and because of that, every time I think about the opening, because it's Mr. in English, but I always think of the SNSD Girls Generation song Mr. And I'm like, hey, Mister.
I absolutely agree that I like the second season's OP more, but that's getting to the trend of me. I still like this OP a lot. It's still very, like, even at the time, it was extremely catchy. They just outdid themselves in season 2.
Yeah.
Who was the singer again?
Love is what.
I feel like I should know this, but I'm not remembering right now because I had their thing.
If I remember correctly, it's like a very old Japanese singer.
They are. Yeah.
It's a classical one. Oh goddamn! Where's my phone?
Vorn doing research for us. Wow.
For once.
Fuck up.
Amazing.
Also, okay. Well, while he's looking that up, on animation quality, I mean it's good quality animation, obviously, but this isn't a show where there's a landmark like art style.
No, there isn't.
Which is not a problem. I'm not saying there's.
No, I'm not about to address that as a problem. I 100% agree. The art style itself is pretty standard.
Yeah.
I think what separates, as far as animation goes, and I showed you like the little stills, it does I'm going to call it the JoJo thing of taking these, of doing a lot of scenes with exaggerated expressions and
yeah, but that does happen in a lot of shows. Like Oran does that really well too. Like exaggerated expressions in a still.
Is that what's happening on the screen isn't like necessarily like what's actually happening in the given scene.
Like Shirogane's eyes aren't literally coming out of his head during that one scene. Happens.
Can you say that?
Oh my god!
I need to have Masayuki Suzuki.
Yeah.
Does that mean anything to anybody?
That's the singer for the OP.
I know. Does it mean anything beyond that?
He's got good music.
I'm pretty sure he did both OPs.
I know. Okay, what I'm asking is, do any of you have any more insight on that person?
I don't know. Vorn's only recognized him.
He's actually a very well-known person in Japan. He was actually well-known for singing classicals and usually love songs. So yeah.
Oh, it's actually a funny little layer there.
Yeah.
Like he wrote a parody love song.
I don't listen to a lot of like Japanese music outright. I tend to listen to a lot of like, if I'm listening to like Asian music, it's usually K-pop and C-pop. Yeah. But like sometimes K-pop singers do their songs in Japanese.
Let me see if I actually got that right.
But I don't super listen to a lot of Japanese music on its own.
Good job.
I feel like that's just because anime music is so good. Sometimes like openings.
Well, I guess I should probably elaborate on both the Death Note of rom-coms and the JoJo of rom-coms.
I feel like that doesn't belong in this section.
See,
though.
People were actually saying the Death Note of rom-coms.
Okay, yeah, but we're in opening and animation. This does not belong in this segment.
I was right.
You talk about that in themes and storyline.
See, but like they fit the different things for different reasons as to why people say that.
Or you could save it to the end section.
I'll save it to the end section.
Yeah.
I don't know. This does not remind me of any other. Okay, other than it being like relatively generic animation style in a school show, right? This does not necessarily remind me of any other show.
Honestly, though, I really like the color palette. I will say, I really like the color palette that they love songs.
Oh,
yeah. He's known
care to share with the class?
He's known in Japan as King of Love Songs.
Oh,
that explains why they got him for this. That's actually really cool.
That is interesting. That is helpful.
Yeah, he's called Japan's King of Love Songs. Yep. Okay. That's
cool.
Good. Totally right choice.
I guess my wider point to the animation though is while the art style is generic, the animators do a phenomenal job of like the animation's not generic even if the art style is.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. The animators are willing to go off model, which not a lot of animators are actually willing to do unless you're like the really damn good animators will do it, but not all of them. especially when you have the generic style. It's actually harder to get the off style. Like, normally for off style, you see a very simplified art style for that.
Like chibi or
Not
just
necessarily chibi. Have you ever seen old Pokemon versus new Pokemon?
Yeah.
Like the newer Pokemon art style, like the one for the last 2 series and then the older ones. They simplify the design so that they can do more off-model stuff like they do in Kaguya and JoJo. But Kaguya and JoJo are standouts because they don't necessarily simplify their designs in order to pull off that kind of animation.
I like how though it took like JoJo like many years after its like first production volume to like actually finally get animated, because animation was finally up to snuff to actually like capture the art style in all its glory.
I don't know. I still feel like animated JoJo leaves something to like be desired versus book JoJo.
Yeah,
There's just like a certain sense of je ne sais quoi that isn't there.
it's called the difference between like how you actually. Okay, you know what? Let's move on from this section.
This is for a
point.
JoJo episode.
I'm not
Yeah.
saying it's bad.
No, it's not. But I think we should just move on at this point because we're getting way off topic.
Well,
Yeah.
I think before we go, we do have to address the very beautiful flower in the room,
The Chica dance?
the Chica dance.
The Chica
Yeah.
dance
I alluded to it.
is God.
I alluded to it originally, but
Mm.
The Chica
It's-
dance is God.
perfect.
Being clear, it's not the only ED. The other ED is good, but not
It's
memorable.
not as good.
Yeah, Chica is the like, like
It's
I
that-
all these years later, all this overexposure later, and I still watched it, and it still brightened my day to see.
Yeah,
it.
it's chef's kiss.
mwah.
Yeah.
Like something about the animation of it, the song, and then the extended cut, which has her singing about noodles.
Yeah.
Coup de grace.
Yeah.
Mm. 100% would watch again, and
Yes.
probably
Yeah.
will because
We'll play Chica dance on repeat after this episode is done.
Realm, do the Chica dance.
Shuji Ingakuen. I have it. Okay, no, I can't do that right now. This room is it's too cramped.
My room is very cramped with 4 of us in here. It's fine.
Wasn't really
Plus,
designed for
plus, I would have
personality.
to have all
My
of
room
you
isn't
guys get
designed
off the
for
bed.
one.
I would have to have both you get off the bed so that way I could actually like do the whole lay
You
down and
also-
get up start.
Okay, moving on.
Yeah, no, let's
Bye bye, everybody.
Get that idea.
Like,
See you in there.
comment, subscribe.
Try harder.